Two 200-pound African Boerboels sat in a shelter for 411 days. 19 families came to meet them. Every single one walked back out the door alone. Too big, too much, too dangerous. I was family number 20, and I almost left too. 4 months later, I understood something those 19 families never got the chance to. They didn't just take over my couch. They took over the part of me that had gone quiet. My name is Nora. I was 44, 11 months out of a marriage I'd thought I would grow old inside, living in a house that had learned to echo. I worked as a veterinary technician, all animals day, and then a silence at home, so complete I could hear the refrigerator hum. I told myself I liked it, every morning, over coffee, alone, at a table built for 4. I wasn't looking for a dog. I stopped by Greenfield Rescue that gray Tuesday only to check on a terrier I'd treated the week before. Then I passed Kennel 14 and stopped walking. 2 enormous dogs sat pressed together, shoulder to shoulder, like each was the only thing holding the other up. Both were African Boerboels, bred to guard South African farms against big cats. One was jet black, a head like a cinder block, a small white mark on his chest, eyes that had seen too much. The other was Caramel, his whole face folded into loose wrinkles, easily 200 pounds. Both males, both massive, both completely still. The Caramel one looked at me for a long moment. Then he leaned his huge head against the bars and let out one low sound. Not a bark, not a growl, just a breath that landed somewhere near the word please. Subscribe to give our 4-legged friends a voice. Diane, the shelter worker, didn't soften a word of it. 411 days, 19 families. Every one had walked away. They were a bonded pair, separated once, and the black one had stopped eating while the Caramel one howled until his throat gave out. Both or neither, 400 pounds of dog nobody wanted. Then she looked at me and said the part I keep coming back to. I wouldn't take both. Not on your own. It's more than almost anyone can carry. I signed the adoption papers 40 minutes later and never regretted it. I named the black one Atlas because he carried himself like the world was his personal weight to hold. The Caramel one I named Moose because there was no other honest word for him. The first 72 hours were demolition. Moose cleared the coat rack with his tail 11 seconds after he walked through the door. Atlas took one look at the couch, climbed on, and sank 4 inches into it like he'd been paying the mortgage for years. I had bought them expensive orthopedic beds. By 2 in the morning, both beds sat empty. Atlas was stretched across the entire couch, all 4 legs hanging off the sides, snoring like a lawnmower with a bad belt. Moose was on my bed, taking up exactly 2/3 of a queen mattress, leaving me a 14-inch strip along the edge. I tried to move him. He opened one eye, looked at me, and closed it again. Conversation over. By the end of the first week, I had lost the couch, the bed, my favorite armchair, and the ability to eat a meal without 200 pounds of Boerboel resting his chin on the table, tracking every bite. Moose drooled on a schedule. The puddle under his chin was the size of a dinner plate every meal, and I simply laid a towel down like it was part of the place setting. They built their own routines fast. Every morning at exactly 6:15, Atlas walked to my bedroom door and sneezed, not barked. Sneezed. One enormous full-body sneeze that shook the walls. That was the alarm clock. Moose had his own system. He'd carry my left slipper, only ever the left, to the kitchen and set it beside his food bowl. The message was not subtle. You get the slipper when I get breakfast. My walk-in closet became Moose's second bedroom. I stopped fighting any of it around day 10. I laughed more in that first month than I had in the entire year before it. I hadn't noticed how quiet I'd gone until 2 dogs turned my whole house back into noise. Then, 3 weeks in, I had a bad day. A surgery at the clinic went wrong and we lost a patient, a 6-year-old Labrador, a good dog, a family's whole heart. I came home, dropped my keys, and sat down on the kitchen floor because I didn't have it in me to make it to a chair. And I cried the way you cry when you've been holding it since morning. Atlas came in first. He didn't jump. He didn't bark. He lowered all of his weight to the floor beside me and laid his head across my knees. Then Moose pressed in against my other side, 200 pounds of warm, wrinkled wall, and the 2 of them boxed me in on that kitchen tile until I ran out of tears. Nobody had touched me in 11 months. That night, 400 pounds of dog did, and the house stopped feeling empty for the first time since the divorce. That's when I understood what nobody at the shelter had told me. Behind those massive heads was something that read people like open books, and Atlas and Moose had been reading me since the second I stopped at Kennel 14. Comment their names below. Atlas and Moose want to know they were heard. The bad days didn't stop coming, but something had changed in who met them. There was a night in February, it would have been my wedding anniversary if there'd still been a marriage to have one, when I came home already unraveling. I hadn't said a word out loud, I hadn't cried yet. I walked in the door completely composed, and Moose was already standing in the hallway waiting for me, and Atlas came off the couch he never voluntarily left, and both of them planted themselves against my legs before I had set my keys down. They knew before I did. They always knew before I did, and they had known since the day I first crouched down at their kennel. I sat on the floor of my own hallway with a 200-pound dog on each side of me, and I let the day fall apart where it was safe to. Neither of them fixed anything. They just refused to leave. I have learned since that this is the entire thing, that healing almost never arrives because someone says the right words, and almost always arrives because someone decides not to walk away. 19 families had walked away from these two, and these two would not walk away from me. Not on the good days, least of all on the ones I couldn't stand up on my own. Atlas is 5 now. Moose is 4. They still steal the couch, the whole couch, plus half of whatever chair I try to claim next. Atlas still sneezes me awake at 6:15 on the dot. Moose still holds my left slipper hostage every morning until his bowl is full. The dinner plate puddle of drool has become a permanent feature I now describe, without irony, as interior design. My guests learn the couch rules within about 4 seconds of sitting down. I don't come home to an echo anymore. That silence that used to follow me from room to room, it packed up and left the same week they arrived, and it has never once found its way back inside. Everyone told me they were too big, too dangerous, too much. 400 pounds of a problem 19 families had been smart enough to refuse. And they were right about the weight, and right about the drool, and wrong about every single thing that mattered. Because I didn't rescue Atlas and Moose from that shelter. I walked in there thinking I was checking on a terrier. I walked out with the 2 animals who would spend the next 4 years quietly taking over my couch, my bed, my mornings, my meals, and every empty room I'd stopped bothering to fill. So tell me honestly, when 2 dogs the whole world called too much move into a house and take over every inch of it, is that a woman rescuing them? Or is it 2 dogs who'd already lost one home deciding they were never, ever going to lose another? Tell me which one you believe.